Earlier this month, I had a total breakdown. It was in the midst of being who I thought I wanted to be. I got crushed by the realization that I have very little power in this world. After a tough night on talking to so many people who were at their lowest, I was devastated because I felt so little in helping them. In talking to one of the texters, I came to understand that although I may be able to alleviate their pain by talking to them, at the end of the day, there is only so much I can do, and that relief is only temporary. If these were one of those nights where volunteering was a self-rewarding activity because I want to help people, I couldn't ignore all the thoughts that I had about my purpose and what I am doing with my life. I started questioning if the path I'm on is even the right path for me. During the duration of that week, I had been researching on the subject of interpersonal theory, and the headspace that I was in takes up all of the factors that I learned and applied them to the situations that I observed around me. The two main things I learned are that feeling like a burden to someone and the need to belong somewhere are not met, are the problems that I had come to feel very familiar with. But as I read all those research articles and the extensive archive of studies that talk about suicide, there was always an ambivalent solution to the questions at hand. I got so frustrated that the answers that I was trying to look for was never a definitive one, and I felt so powerless in what I can do to find the answers to those questions. I knew this was only a literature review that I needed to get done in order to further advance a paper my research team is trying to write, which would shed light on the subject, but I couldn't help but feel angry at the expenses that we all have taken before caring about someone else's mental health. The lack of information on the psyches of why people decide to take their own lives baffles me, because through this research, I thought I would get some answers to why I felt like this for so long. It made me realize how little there is I can do in this moment to seek help for myself and in turn for those around me. The following day, I went to my women's studies class, and we happened to have a guest speaker. She was an advocate for those children who were detained at the immigration center at the border. It was heartbreaking to hear about family separation and have reality set in that, yes, these horrible things do happen every single day. Of course I know this to an extent, but I was always shielded with the fact that I'm privileged. I get to go to college, I was born into a good family, I get to live in a first world country. I was born into privilege. That bubble popped because I felt so entitled that I didn't have to worry about the rest of the world and what goes on in the media. I just think that these are just stories, and I always goes to the saying that, oh, poor children and their family, or that's horrible, I hope things will get better. As emotional as the guest speaker got when she was talking about family separation, I felt so heartbroken. If there was so much darkness in this world, why am I just sitting here, doing nothing about the cause and focusing on my own goals, my own dreams, my own aspirations and checkboxes? I was angry at myself for not doing enough, and I feel somewhat lethargic about my own life. I walked out of class that day, and I broke. I broke because I felt so crushed by the hatred in this world and how little I can do about it. I broke because of all the things I am sure about, I'm not so sure about what I am here for anymore. It seemed like nothing that I do was enough, and no matter the amounts of research or help I give to other people, I can only do so much as to console them. I felt so heartbroken for everyone that I talked to the research questions that has no answers, to the children that I hear about firsthand and the trauma that they had to go through. I just broke down sobbing, and I couldn't stop. I couldn't make sense of the things that I experienced that week or that day, and it made me so angry. I felt lost, confused. Is what I'm doing even worth it? Am I trying to fight for a cause that is hopeless? Am I even doing what is meant for me? How do I even dare to feel sad about the weight of all of this when I'm not even the one going through it? After all the self-hatred and doubts, after the self-loathing and blaming myself for being so selfish to fight for my own mental health that I procrastinated on what I meant to be here to do, I took a step back to evaluate the decisions that I have made. I don't want to internalize these issues and blame myself for things that I am not capable of doing, at least for now. Change takes time, and intentions are everything that matters in the sense of this. Maybe for now, I won't be able to make a difference in the world like I hope I can, due to being in the deepest moments of understanding my traumas, but that doesn't mean I should criticize myself so harshly because I'm not doing as much as I think I should be. Yes, fighting for these causes and helping people in their own struggles are what I feel like is my purpose, but I need to take care of myself first, too. As what Crisis Text Line says for all their volunteers, you can't pour from an empty cup. As cliche as that sounds, I know this to be true. If I truly want to make a change in this world, I need to put myself first and focus on what is important to me. I want to use the pain that I can feel from others and the understandings of what I know and use it to help those around me. At the end of the day, there's no silver lining to what I'm going through or how I choose to live my life. I am still in the depths of my own demons, trying to navigate through what I know are my responsibilities. Getting through school, research, work, finishing grad apps, graduating. These are all pivotal moments in my life that I feel impossible to accomplish, even though they are all so near. These values I hold so dear are taking place right now, but I can't help but feel like I haven't done much with my life. With all the uncertainties of it all, I feel as if it's all going to crumble and I'm just left with many failures and disappointments because I feel inadequate to be able to do any of it. But I do know one way or another, I will try my hardest to fulfill what I'm here to do. I'm put here for a reason, and I'm slowly finding my way to fight for my purpose. It feels bleak to be writing this, and there's no happy ending to this chapter of my life, but I don't want to end on a dooming note. I just hope that in anything that I do it with intentions and keep the passion that I have now. I just hope that when I look back at this moment 10 years from now, that I will be proud of myself for being vulnerable enough and compassionate towards those around me. I just hope that whatever happens next after today, I would be able to continue to bring these moments to use and find the answers to questions that I have for so long, and to help those who needs to hear it too. If you lasted this long, thank you for listening. And as always, stay healthy. Bye.